Coldest air of the season coming. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel VTB Tien 8, hope you're all doing well. We've got a big change in the air, literally. October has arrived in full swing. And it's about to bring us that first real blast of cold air that actually feels like fall, for some places, even an early taste of winter. So how cold is it going to get? Which areas will feel the chill first? And could this pattern set the stage for something bigger later this month, maybe even around Halloween? Stick around, because we're diving deep into all of that, plus rain chances, tropical updates, and how the shifting jet stream could affect your region over the next 2 weeks. If you love keeping up with weather updates and long-range forecasts, make sure to hit like, share, and of course subscribe with notifications turned on. That way you don't miss a single forecast or live stream right here on the channel. Alright, let's dive in. That strong cold front that brought cooler air earlier in the week has now pushed off the east coast. But right behind it, a reinforcing shot of cold Canadian air is diving southward across the northern Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes. High pressure is building down from Ontario into Wisconsin, spreading dry air, blue skies, and a sharp drop in temperatures. The kind of crisp, refreshing air that makes you finally say, yep. Fall is here. We're talking highs only in the 50s across the arrowhead of Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, the upper peninsula of Michigan, and interior sections of the Northeast. Meanwhile, any real warmth will be locked way down in the Gulf Coast and the desert Southwest. Moving into Thursday, the Northeast turns noticeably colder. Highs will only reach the 40s and 50s from Maine through New Hampshire, Vermont, upstate New York, and into western Massachusetts. Morning lows will tumble close to freezing in the valleys, so if you're an early riser, don't be surprised if you see frost glistening on your windshield. Now, a bit farther south and west, a southerly flow is beginning to build, helping temperatures rebound across the central and southern plains. We'll see low to mid-80s returning by Thursday afternoon. And that warm-up continues into the weekend. But the 90s? Those stay confined mostly to Texas and Oklahoma, around Oklahoma City and Tulsa by Saturday and Sunday. Now, colder days mean colder nights, and yes, we're seeing some of the coldest mornings of the season. Freeze warnings are already posted for a wide area, northern Michigan, the eastern UP. Much of the Appalachian spine from West Virginia and Virginia northward through Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, and even parts of Rhode Island and Massachusetts. Those are spots expecting overnight lows at or below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. That's cold enough to damage sensitive vegetation, so if you've still got flowers or produce outside, cover them up tonight. By Thursday morning, many valleys in the Northeast will dip into the upper 20s to low 30s. And by Friday morning, some isolated valleys could even hit the low 20s. That's a hard freeze, folks. You'll want the extra blanket on the bed, trust me. But hang in there, by the weekend, temperatures will start to rebound again. In fact, we could see some record warm overnight lows developing across the Front Range and Central Plains. 50s and 60s for nighttime temps, quite the contrast. Now let's talk about storm potential. Thunderstorms are limited this week, mainly across the southern tier where warmer air lingers. No severe weather expected through Friday, but things start to change heading into the weekend. Tropical moisture from the eastern Pacific will begin to surge into the western U.S., and that's going to spark some showers and storms, especially over the desert Southwest and Four Corners region. Starting off in the east, after a wet morning across parts of New England, including Cape Cod, Boston, Providence, and Long Island, skies will clear from west to east through the afternoon. A brisk north wind brings in that chilly, dry Canadian air, setting up for widespread frost overnight. Thursday will feature plenty of sunshine across most of the East Coast, from Maine down through the Carolinas. The only exception, a few isolated showers along coastal Florida or Georgia in the afternoon, but nothing major. So if you've got outdoor plans in the East Thursday, you're in luck. Sunshine dominates. In the central U.S., expect a mix of sun and clouds across the southern plains and the lower Mississippi Valley today. Farther north, across the Great Lakes, the Midwest, and the upper plains, that cool high-pressure system keeps skies mostly clear. However, by Thursday evening, another reinforcing front drops through the upper Midwest. So if you're in Wisconsin, Minnesota, or northern Michigan, watch for a quick passing shower or rumble of thunder between about 6 p.m. and midnight. Nothing severe, but maybe a brief interruption to your Thursday night football game or outdoor plans. Now let's swing west, where the story starts to shift. Plenty of sunshine early today across most of the west. But we're already seeing clouds thickening over Arizona and New Mexico, with scattered showers and storms developing. A deep Pacific trough is digging into the northwest, bringing rain and mountain snow to the Cascades and parts of British Columbia. By Thursday, that tropical moisture feed from the East Pacific will be in full effect, spreading rain northward from San Diego and Phoenix up through Las Vegas, Flagstaff, Tucson, and even Salt Lake City. That's a rare treat for the desert, a genuinely rainy day across the southwest. Looking ahead to early next week, by Monday, October 13th, the pattern really begins to shift again. We'll see a ridge of high pressure developing over Texas and the central U.S., helping temperatures moderate and dry out through midweek. Meanwhile, troughs of low pressure will bookend the country, one along the east coast, and a deeper one along the west coast. This setup means cooler than normal temps across the west coast, slightly below normal along the east, and well above normal across the central U.S. places like Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, even into Kansas, could run 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit above average by mid-October. Plenty of sunshine and dry air under that ridge, perfect fall weather for outdoor work, harvest, or travel. Meanwhile, both coasts will stay more unsettled. The west coast in particular could see heavier rain spreading across California, the Sacramento Valley, and into the Rockies as moisture from the Pacific and tropical systems merges inland. Now this is fascinating. Let's head across the globe to the West Pacific. This is Typhoon Halong, which recently peaked as a super typhoon. It's beginning to curve northward across the Pacific, and believe it or not, that will eventually influence our weather here in North America. As Halong recurves and transfers energy into the jet stream, it'll help carve out a deep trough over the U.S. by the final week of October, right around Halloween. That could mean another surge of cold air, stormy weather, and potentially our next strong fall cold front. Model guidance shows some differences between the European and GFS ensembles. The Euro suggests moderate cooling, while the GFS is more aggressive with that cold plunge. But both agree. Halloween week could turn much colder in the east, with stormy, active weather patterns developing again. So, if you've got trick-or-treat plans, keep that in mind. Jackets may be a must this year. Switching gears to the Atlantic, we're tracking Tropical Storm Jerry in the western Maine development region. Jerry is approaching the Leeward Islands, with tropical storm watches now in effect across most of the northern islands and just east of Puerto Rico. Jerry is expected to intensify into a hurricane by Friday as it curves northward, likely staying east of Bermuda, but still producing large swells and gusty winds across nearby waters. And look at those sea surface temperatures, still extremely warm, easily supporting intensification. That's been a trend all season. The Atlantic is running hotter than average, which keeps storms stronger and helps them climb farther north before curving out to sea. A weak Bermuda ridge remains over the subtropical Atlantic, allowing storms like Jerry to curve away instead of heading west toward the U.S., but we're watching the pressure pattern carefully. By this weekend, a strong high-pressure ridge will form over Hudson Bay and Quebec, which could lower pressure along the southeast coast. That might set up another potential coastal system, maybe not tropical, but still capable of bringing rain, wind, and rough surf from the Carolinas to New England next week. Some ensemble members of the European model are hinting at this, showing a low developing just off the east coast. We'll keep a close eye on that setup as it evolves. Now to the eastern Pacific, where the tropics are also buzzing. We currently have Tropical Storm Octave, Hurricane Priscilla, and another area with an 80% chance of development off the coast of Mexico. Let's focus on Priscilla first. It's a Category 1 hurricane, now moving north and starting to weaken as it encounters cooler waters along the Baja Peninsula. But even as it weakens, it's going to spread much-needed tropical moisture into the desert southwest, from Southern California through Arizona and New Mexico. By late week and into the weekend, this surge of moisture will push northward into the Rockies and the central U.S., enhancing rainfall potential across several states that have been very dry lately. Some models are showing 6 to 10 inches of rain for parts of Arizona and southern Utah. That's a lot of water for desert terrain, so flash flooding and mudslides are possible. Definitely something to watch carefully if you live in those areas. So to summarize, the east gets cold, dry air, crisp mornings, sunny afternoons. The central U.S. warms up next week under a big ridge, classic Indian summer feel. The west turns active and wet with tropical moisture and mountain snow. The tropics remain busy on both sides of the continent, with Jerry in the Atlantic and Priscilla in the Pacific. And by Halloween, all signs point to another strong cold blast diving into the U.S. Thanks in part to the remnants of Typhoon Halong re-energizing the jet stream. So enjoy this temporary balance while it lasts. More drama is coming to the weather maps soon. And that's the big picture, folks. The coldest air of the season is arriving for the north and east, while the south and west stay warmer and wetter. It's a classic October pattern shift, the kind that signals the real start of fall. If you found this forecast helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss my next update or live storm coverage. It really helps more than you know, and your support keeps these forecasts coming. Stay warm out there, cover those plants, and keep an eye on the skies, because October's just getting started. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next forecast.